on, baby. I know you want to come home with me.
I said no.
Come on,
I
you know
said
what?
no.
Come
Get
on.
your hands off me!
Alright, sure. Hello, this is the beautiful Glenda. I'm just Randall, KravMagaTraining.com. What we're going to discuss with this particular video is common mistakes to avoid when someone is grabbing you with two hands on one wrist down low. So here's the first mistake that I want you guys to avoid is this. Glenda grabs me. A real common mistake is not making sure that your thumb is turned up, because you want the thin part of your wrist lined up with their thumbs. We're going to turn it over like this just so you guys can see the angle. If her thumbs are pointing this direction, notice how my thumb is turned that same direction. This is really important because when I grab and pull, the thin part of my wrist will slide out between her thumbs a lot easier, and it doesn't put a lot of pressure on my wrist. A common beginner mistake is this, is that when she's doing this, I'll have my hand turn like this, and there's a couple problems when you do this. One is, when you grab your own hand to escape, notice that it's like bending my wrist back and puts a lot of pressure, it makes it uncomfortable. That's no good. The other problem is my wrist is a lot wider and fatter in this angle, which means it's a lot harder for me to slide my hand out through that gap on her thumbs. If I turn it like this and line it up properly, it eliminates the wrist pressure and it slides out a lot easier. So that's the first common mistake to avoid, is make sure the thin part of your wrist is lined up with your attacker's thumbs. The next thing that you want to avoid is make sure that you put the correct foot behind you. Okay, now I know the camera's kind of cutting this off, but you'll be able to figure this out. And that if she is grabbing my right hand, I want to put my left foot back. The reason why I like to do this is because when I pull, I can twist my hips a lot easier. Whereas if I have the wrong side back, I can't twist as easily. The reason why the twisting is important is because it gives you a lot more power. We'll pretend that Glenda is way bigger and stronger than me. If that's the case, especially if she's grabbing with two hands, using two arms, it's really important for me. I can't just use my two arms as well if I'm not as big as her. I need to cheat and use my entire body, and I do that by twisting my hips. So as long as I have the correct foot back, I can twist a lot easier. So that's the second mistake that's common that you want to avoid. The third one is this. Make sure that when you do the release, to go across your body. Not only is it easier for you to twist your hips, but you're less likely to hit yourself in the head and you'll get more power. I know this seems silly, but if you're not careful and you just pull straight up, you can actually hit yourself in the head. Well, most beginners don't do that. Well, a lot of them, what they'll do is they'll try to pull it over to the same side. And the reason why I don't like this is because, once again, it doesn't facilitate your ability to twist your body. So once again, pretend Glenn is super strong. If I just go straight up, we're just going arm strength to arm strength. And she's bigger than me, that's not going to work. I need to go across my body, which means if she's grabbing my right hand, I pull it over to my left shoulder across. When I do this now, I can rotate my body a lot easier. So that's the third thing that you want to make sure that you're doing properly. And the fourth thing is, once you get all those little tricks down, don't be so overzealous that you do this. Notice I'm twisting so far that I'm actually turning too far and exposing my back, making myself more vulnerable to be attacked and not be able to protect myself as well. So it's okay to pull across your body and to twist your hips, but you should only do it approximately 90 degrees. What I mean by that is, right now, we're lined up. When I do the escape, this is as far as I go. Turn sideways to her, like this, because that way it allows me to rotate back into a proper position so I can protect myself, like my tactical stance. Don't do this. No good. Your partner should not see your back. So just 90 degrees, do it sharply, and then notice I can immediately go back to my tactical stance. Whereas if I go too far, that took a little bit longer, and longer is no good. So those are the four common mistakes I see beginners make when they do this particular escape. Be sure to avoid them. So before we finish the video, just a quick review on it again. First one, make sure your thumb, the thin part of your wrist, is lined up. Second, make sure that when you do this, pull it across your body over to your opposite shoulder like this. And also, the third thing is twist your hips, especially if your attacker is bigger and stronger than you. You're going to have to twist your body. If we're about the same size, or if I'm stronger, it won't be important, but most bad guys tend to attack people that are weaker and smaller than them, so we better start learning how to twist our hips. And then the fourth thing, of course, don't turn too far once you get the technique down. Only turn freeze, so you can immediately go back to a position to protect yourself, like a tactical stance or even a fighting stance, if the situation gets really heated. So those are my tips. Make sure you implement those when you're doing this particular escape, and it'll make a big difference.